Clark mostly raced in his native state of Texas. He did race IndyCars from 1910 to 1915, starring 12 races and getting a best finish of 5th at Milwaukee in 1912 and Galveston in 1914. Clark also finished 5th in a 1912 exhibition race at Milwaukee. Here he sits in his car prior to the 1913 Indianapolis 500, where he finished 10th. Rickenbacker was an early star in racing who raced IndyCars from 1911 to 1917 and started 41 races, winning 7 of them. During World War I, Rickenbacker served as an airplane fighter pilot for the United States Army and became a flying ace with 26 confirmed aerial victories. After the war, Rickenbacker had a successful career as a business person. This included operating the Rickenbacker Automobile Company from 1920 to 1927, serving as chief executive officer of Eastern Airlines from 1938 to 1959, and owning Indianapolis Motor Speedway from 1927 to 1945. In 1931, Rickenbacker was awarded the Medal of Honor by President of the United States Herbert Hoover. Here is Rickenbacker after qualifying at Indianapolis in 1916, where he started second and led the first 9 laps, but finished 20th due to steering issues after 11 laps. Seymour started off as a motorcycle racer before competing in the AAA National Championship from 1928 to 1939, starring 7 races out of 13 entries. His best finish would be a 12th place finish at Altoona in 1928. Seymour retired from racing after being burned in a crash while practicing at Indianapolis in 1939. Here he is after qualifying for the 1934 500, where he finished 26th due to a pinion gear issue after 22 laps. Snowberger started racing in 1921 and began to compete in the AAA National Championship in 1927, and he continued to race there through 1950, starring 53 races in all while getting a best finish of 2nd place 5 times. Snowberger also operated an engineering company in Michigan. Here he is after qualifying for the 1931 Indianapolis 500, where he started on the pole position and finished 5th. Saylor initially worked as a school teacher in Dayton, Ohio before becoming a racing driver. His IndyCar career consisted of competing in an exhibition race at Lincoln in 1940, where his result is unknown, and Indianapolis in 1941, where he finished 17th due to a crash. Unfortunately, Saylor was killed in a crash at Cape Girardeau County Fairgrounds in Missouri in 1942. In 2002, Saylor was inducted into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Here he sits in his car at Indianapolis in 1941. Webb was the 1948 AAA Midwest Sprint Car champion. He raced IndyCars from 1939 to 1955, starting at least 22 races and getting a best finish of 2nd at Winchester in 1946 and Detroit in 1949. After retiring from racing, Webb operated a construction company. Among his projects were the Los Angeles Zoo. In 1997, Webb was inducted into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. In 1997, Webb was inducted into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Here is Webb after qualifying for the 1953 Indianapolis 500, where he finished 19th due to an oil leak after 166 laps. After winning the 1946 California Roadster Association Championship, McGrath started 67 IndyCar races from 1948 to 1955, winning 4 of them. As of 2018, he is the only driver to be the fastest qualifier for the Indianapolis 500 and start on the front row, but not start on the pole position. Doing so in 1955 as Jerry Hoyt and Tony Benhausen were the only drivers to complete a qualifying attempt on pole day. Tragically, McGrath was killed in a crash at Phoenix in 1955. Here he is after qualifying for the 1954 500, where he started on the pole position and, after leading for 47 laps, finished 3rd. Shirley was a USAC driver whose only national championship entry was at Springfield in 1981, where he failed to arrive. Here is Shirley in a midget race. Ballabio was the founder of Monte Carlo Automobile, a car manufacturer. He also competed in various races in Europe. Ballabio entered 9 kart races from 1987 to 1990, starting 6th and getting a best finish of 17th at Mid-Ohio in 1988. Here he is at his debut race, Miami in 1987, where he finished 26th.